Okay, so here we are. I have been trying to get through Ying and her story for a little bit, and we just received a bunch of brand new PDF cards for all of the errata and upgrade pack stuff that was brought in the second Kickstarter. So I figured now that we got everything, I might as well print them off while I'm waiting for my cards, and I just slip them inside of the plastics. So if the colors look a little off, it's because they are printed, and that's something you can do right now if you're waiting for yours too. If you're not, and you just happen to pick up Street Masters at retail, you're all set. You don't have to worry about it. This should match everything you've got, at least as far as 2020. If you're far off in a Jetsons future, I'm not sure what future versions may hold. But on our setup here for off-duty part 3A, since I beat 2A, I need to use Cashed Out and the Golden Dragons. When you have Along as part of the Golden Dragons, he puts certain cards into play. These are very bad for you. They generate defense tokens for the boss, and they take some away from you, or they heal the boss. And the only way to get rid of them is to do a very strong 5 damage attack at one time, breaking through his defense. So Along changed up a little bit. He used to just reduce damage. Now he has a set amount of health that goes up because of Shadow Sun instead of having damage reduction. And that makes him difficult to deal with. There's going to be a lot of things going on with the board. So you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you're following all your procedures on your turn card, that you're following the flow of each thing. I'm probably going to forget a couple times. I don't worry when I forget. I just move on. Have fun. This is a game. Games are supposed to be fun. Don't give me a big, 50-page thing about all the things in life I could have done differently in the comments. But if you have anything that you want to say, or if this helps you out, great. I hope the one thing at the most that helps you out is if you don't hit a particular thing at one time. If you can remember it, fix it. If you can't remember it, don't worry about it. The game is going to be hard enough as it is. The house is something that if we get 10 power on it, we lose. So we're going to do everything we can. This has changed in version 2. So when we take power off the house, we also get cash from the loot deck, which is great. That'll help us exhaust some enemies. I have Yinghua, and she has her Jin ally from the rest of the story. He's yet to be defeated, so he's still in play. I probably should have let him get defeated in the last one so that I could pick a different ally, but that's on me. Jin as an ally is not as powerful as some of the others. Like if I had Hanzo in here right now, if you were playing this in arcade mode, I'd probably use Hanzo. Yeah, the power that you put on Brandon to keep him constantly supplied with being able to use his combos, it's ridiculous. Lotus is from the Brook City allies. If you bought keys to the kingdom, the Brook City expansion, then she's in there. That's her and her lovely painted dress that I put together. And you can get allies and rivals from there, so that part is cool. They work well together. They take place in the same universe. So Yinghua is also in Keys to the Kingdom for Brook City. If you don't have those, don't worry about it. I would use Chan Chan, but I use Chan Chan for everything because that was my favorite ally to have. I just wanted things to be a little bit different. If you stay close to her, she's fairly mobile. She can move 4 spaces, but she also has 2 effects. One is to take defense tokens away from each enemy, but they get discarded. She doesn't accept them, or she can give herself and people within 2 spaces defense tokens. So it's like she can give a wink and a smile and distract you, or she can be like, "Oh, I love you so much," and prep you up. That's her function. I think it works well with the Asian theme casino we have going on right now. But if you want a different one that does the same kind of effect, use Chan Chan. And the Frightened Gamblers, if you look that they fit into each one of the stage conditions everybody gets, this is going to peel away a lot of your defense tokens, and you're going to want to keep defense tokens on it if you can. Strategy here is to stay away from Along. You want to be at least 3 away from as you can. And if you keep having him chase around to these 3 tokens and keep it down to 2 if you can, then have someone else pick off minions. Yinghua is very strong against minions. She's not particularly strong against bosses, but she powers up Brandon really well. And once he gets going, then he can do a huge combo attack, and that might be how I get rid of these heavenly dragons. I don't know if any of this is going to work. This is a scenario that I would not have used Yinghua for if not for it being in her story. So that's the challenge. We're going to see if we make it. And the first thing we have to do in these circumstances... Oh, and also I kept Brandon because his synergy with Yinghua is pretty strong. And my strategy overall is going to be just to run around the map as much as possible and get tactics put out, and then start attacking the boss. We'll see how that goes, because Yinghua can't heal, these guys can't heal, and Brandon can heal himself, so we'll see how he handles being a tank. If I can get Nunchaku Grab fairly early out in my hand, then I should be able to exhaust minions using the combo effects. That's a lot of strategy going on. It's probably all going to go away immediately, but in the meantime, we need to get our cards situated. There's nobody else has anything to start with, so we're going to start our turn with threat phase on Yinghua. She's going to get Jin. Jin himself is the red one. The closest spot is here. I think my best option is to try to get my Jin as close to the edges as possible, and that'll keep him away from being attacked by Along. So I'm gonna go ahead and exhaust him, have him run at this Jin, and he does 3 general damage, so that's gonna take away those 2 and give him 1. I need to pull some cards because everybody should start with a hand. I've got a tactic. I have earned the golden stuff from my previous runs through the story, so I've got this golden hunch, and this allows her to reduce damage by 2 and do extra card attacks, gaining power. So I can choose one player to draw a card and gain 1 power. That's probably always going to be Brandon, and that's a really good use of her effect. As she powers up and things go into the discard pile, then I might change this up and do something else. But for right now, my card is definitely going to be Hunch. So I have these other ones that are part of my hand I'll set aside. Brandon's hand, he's got stuff. We'll figure out what those are in a second. Everybody gets those 4 cards. Thinking about the discard pile, it says to discard, not remove from the game, these Heavenly Dragon cards. So once the cycle goes through, which is why I probably wouldn't use Yinghua as much, because her main function is to cycle through the cards as much as possible of the enemy deck, then there's going to be twice as much opportunity to get hurt by these things and power up the boss. So you get a little reprieve the first round through, but after that it's kind of over. She does get to move. I'm going to move her to get the loot. So that's set that over there. Pick up a loot. It's a lead pipe, so I can deal 3 direct damage to any adjacent enemy. I don't have anything adjacent right now. It's direct damage, so if I'm really in need of getting rid of minions, or if I want to start hitting the boss is only going to have 25 health. So 3 is quite a bit when you think of percentages, and if it goes directly through all of his incredible amounts of defense, he's a hard guy to hit, then those are going to be very, very helpful. I'm going to go ahead and use my action to choose a fighter to draw a card and gain 1 power. Since Brandon powers up the most off of that, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give him a power since I want him to have as much as possible. And then I can play a card. So I have another tactic here called Remain Silent that I can put into play, so I will go ahead and do that. And when I play it, I can gain 1 defense of my choice and choose a fighter to draw 1 card. So I'm going to choose Brandon again, so that powers him up, and I'm going to pick a punch token. So that part is cool. In this circumstance, you may have decided otherwise. You may have decided to let, instead of using hunch, you might have picked up the 2 defense tokens that are randomly that you can pick up so that you can put something on Frightened Gambler. Your first turn is going to be however your first turn is, but mine went pretty well to get that. This is going to allow me to discard the top card of the enemy deck. Even though they're not adjacent to me, I can discard. So I'll do that. And that is incredible because that gets rid of one of his tactic cards. Thankfully, you want to discard as many of those as possible and keep them from coming up along with those Heavenly Dragon ones. So that was helpful there. And now Mr. Jin over here is going to attack each fighter engaged with this enemy. So he's going to attack for 4. So we're going to pull 4 out of here. And we have 2 grapple. So that gets rid of 1 of these. Then we have 1 of these. And the hunch says when a fighter would be dealt damage by a minion, reduce that damage by 2. So I can exhaust her to get rid of the rest of the damage. That would go on to Jin, saving him for more stuff later. So that's very, very helpful to do. And since he's currently engaged, then the rest of his card doesn't matter. We don't worry about that. She's going to draw a card. So her hand is over there. I'm going to put down to make life easier for me. I need to pull another card for the threat phase. That's a Dow, red Dow, and this is already occupied, so we're going to go up here because that's the next closest spot. He gets a couple of tokens to go his way. Can I create, in this circumstance, an area that will give all of my folks tokens? I think I can do that. Let's look at what I have in my hand, because I'm going to be able to do a combo effect. I've got a lot of interesting cards here. One of which is Viper Stance, so that allows me to do extra damage. And I get some extra moves, but I have Nunchaku Grab in my hand. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, this should come down here, Viper Stance, so then I can get extra attacks, and this is stackable, so I can get up to 3 extra attacks from him. Not attacks, but dice for an attack. And I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to get closer to this Jin, and I'm going to exhaust that Viper Stance, which will give me 2 dice to attack with, and then I can do a combo effect. That's 2 hits, so that does 2 against Jin. The combo effect I want to do is exhaust a minion engaged with you and gain 1 defense token of your choice. He's got no defense tokens right now, so it's just going to exhaust him. This is going to prevent him from activating during Yinghua's turn, which will be fine. Right now, Dao is far enough away from any of my people that I don't have to worry about for that. So I've used it in my action. I've done a card, so I can set those aside for now. I need to make Lotus do something. If I set her here, then she's within 2 of all of my people, and that gives them 2 random defense tokens. So we'll just give everybody some random defense tokens. Let's start with Jin. I'm just going to go around that way, and he'll get a as part of Yinghua's activation. I told you I'm going to get in the way of things. If Along, so the first activate is to move anything over, so I will move this one over. Again, this is pulling back to Yinghua's threat phase. she was not within 3 spaces of him, so she's not going to take punch damage, but he gains a punch token. First round through doesn't matter as much because Shadow Sun is just going to give him 2 of everything anyway. That's probably why I forgot it, but we won't forget when we get to the Mercy thing. It's going to do something crazy. Okay, so first one was Jin, so that was a grapple and a punch. Then we have a punch and a kick. That's going to go to Brandon. We have a punch and a kick. That's going to go to Lotus. And we have a punch and a kick. Popular. That is going to go to Ying. Alright. And then the next thing we have to do is go through the threat phase. Are we going to move any? We'll move 1. Then if Along is in 2 spaces, he is not. Otherwise, he gains a kick token. So he gained a kick token. Dao is going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't attack, so he's going to go back 2. Since he moved back 2 on his retreat, he gets a grapple and a punch. Okay. And Brandon gets a card. It's going to be, ooh, another Viper Stance. So if we stack these up, then we can start doing some real damage with Brandon there. So that'll be awesome. Okay, first thing through, the boss's turn. We're going to activate and deal direct damage to each fighter who was not attacked in this way. It was the Mercy effect. Mercy effect is heal. He doesn't do that. Then each fighter discards 1 defense token. So each fighter discards defense. So unfortunately, that includes the allies because allies count as fighters in the book. So they just can't hold loot and play cards. So that's kind of how that works. Shadow Sun says Along gains a minimum of 2 for every type of damage token there is, or defense token there is. So that sets him up there. And then we have to move down to stage turns. So activate the boss, and each pit boss move 3 spaces towards the nearest inactive objective. So that's here. And when they move on to it, it flips. So now we have an active objective, just the one. And you put 1 for every active objective in play. So that goes there. So that is unfortunate. We also have to draw a card, which is another Frightened Gambler. I'm going to go ahead and put her on Yinghua and hope that she doesn't take much damage. But as far as I'm aware, since it did not say to remove these from the game, and it doesn't have any function that says to discard it otherwise, you have to mitigate both when you get hit. So that sucks. But Yinghua, I'm hoping is not going to get hit, and that should make things a little bit easier on the next round. I know that he's going to go here next, so I want to clear this area out if I can of anybody, and then he's going to come down here, but I want to come back up there. So if I try to go up here and then he comes back here, I just want to be out of range of 3 so that he can't attack me in any way. That's kind of pushing. That's there. 1, 2, 3. I need to be quite as far away as possible. So we'll see how that goes. As that stands, he's going to stay exhausted. We get another yellow Jin. And so the next side of the board that's closest is actually this one, I think, if you bisect it properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it goes both ways equally. I'll just set them over there and just stack up minions in that direction. Okay. What can we do? He moves spaces and then deals damage. So if I clear Jin out, so he's not within 3 right now, and that's when he's going to activate. So he's not going to move again until the stage card. So all of the effects from here, I'm still in the clear over there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just attack. I got rid of this Jin here. So that goes to the discard pile. I get a loot card that is Sneakers for kick attack, and her charge side is a kick attack, so I can use it when she charges, so that would be cool. If I stay on top of this one here, he's going to go that way, and that'll give me better access to jump on this one and activate it. So I think that's the strategy. Good thinking, folks at home. Good thinking, because it'll push him down and he won't be able to activate it otherwise. So that's a good plan. Good plan. You keep working on that. I'm going to go ahead and use my action here and allow Brandon to draw another card. So that's cool. Gain a power. That's even more cool. And I can play a card. Do I want to play any cards? I don't need to. So it doesn't really affect me in any way. I'm not going to do anything with that, but I did use up my action. And I'm giving away my card step, so I don't have to deal with that. I'm going to exhaust, discard the top card of the enemy deck. So that was another Jin. Nobody's engaged with me, I don't have to worry about that. So this Jin is going to move. It's going to advance 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really do much for him. To activate here is if he's within 2 spaces. He is not within 2 spaces. And he's going to gain a defense token for punch. And I can move something down to this frightened gambler, so I'm going to have to do that. Okay, we're good on that stuff. Cool. Everything's taken care of. We have to pull another card. Wanbo. Wanbo is going to land here. Now we have a problem. Wambo is a tough cookie, so I need to somehow disable him as quickly as I can. There's lots of ways to do that, though. First step is to look in my hand and see what I got. Do I have any attacks or tactics that are particularly useful in this circumstance? I still have the Nunchaku grab I want to keep in there. I did get Viper stances, so if I put this one into play, this Viper stance, on top of here, then one of them will do just +1 during the attack, and another, so it'll be +2 and +1 direct damage. So that's all cool. That's very cool. I think I need to go ahead and attack then. I'm going to use those. That's 3 dice. And if you want one of these, just get a leather cup, and I 3D printed this thing and put some felt in there. It's so much better than dice towers. I found that I could actually manipulate the dice rolls by putting the dice in the right spot of the dice tower. So this is a little bit more random. I got one more. Okay, so with those punches in mind, I'm going to get 2 punch defense tokens, which is awesome, and I'm going to do 4 damage to Wanbo. And in addition to that, I'm going to have a combo effect. The combo effect that I'm going to use is going to be on Nunchuck Grab, and that will exhaust him. He hits as hard as the bosses. He hits for 5. Kimono hits for 5. You know what I mean? Like, he only hits for 4. So Wambo, he's the problematic one right there. So all that's good. Now Lotus, I'm going to give everybody their tokens. So let's go round robin one more time. And then it's going to be a kick and a grapple going to Mr. Jin. Grapple and a punch going to Brandon. Two kicks going to the Lotus. And 2 grapples going to Miss Hua. Alright, so that's cool. Now we got to do Frightened Gambler. We don't need to give anything else to Frightened Gambler because it's already got one on it. If I did take some damage, then I would have to worry about that. But otherwise, I'm going to go to here. He's not within 2 spaces of me, so he's not going to do this. He's going to get a kick token instead. Minion, he's going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still too far away to be of too much consequence, so he's going to go back 2. He's going to gain 2 random defense tokens for doing that. So that's a punch and a kick. So he is problematic. Oh, I'm sorry. There was 4 and there was 1 direct damage, so it was actually 5. Math. So I kept the dice there, it reminded me. This bonus one gave +1 direct damage. So he's all covered. Draw a card. We're back up here. Activate Mercy Effect. Heal. He doesn't have anything on him. Discard a defense token. So everybody, she doesn't have a defense token to discard. Then nothing happens. She's just defenseless. That's the only real factor that's going on there. It's like he's using his psychic powers to disturb you in some context, or the spirits or whatever he's running from. And then he does have 2 of everything, so that one doesn't worry about. Then activate here. He's going to move 3, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He didn't quite make it, which is cool, but we're going to have to place 1 power for each active objective in play, so that is one of these. Now when I get over here, I can flip that one, and that'll just make him keep running back and forth. Like he'll go to this one next, and then he'll try to get back up to here. So I can kind of manipulate his movement to try to stay within these 2, and that will hopefully keep too much from ever coming up there. That's my plan anyway. We have to pull a stage card. This is going to suck because it's another Frightened Gambler. So since he doesn't have 2 and she's got 2, then it's gonna go there. And the only way to get rid of these is to put power on the house in order to allow it to get discarded. If you're in a position where you're like there's only 2 on the house right now, it might be worth it just to let it get discarded so that you don't have to keep worrying about it. But if you just have 1 on there, then you've got some time to work that out. Then we have to reset. Everybody goes back. Something I should have done last time is to put this card there, but you know where we're at. You know what's going on. You're on top of things. Pull a card. Wanbo. Wanbo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're still equidistant. Wanbos move very slowly. So if I put them up there, I don't have to worry about them for a little while. Then what are we going to do? I'm going to let Jin go ahead and attack this Wanbo to get rid of him. So that's a gone fella. And moves this over. She gets another loot. So that's going to help for her grapple attacks. That part is cool. But for right now, I'm going to run over and flip this. Flipping that pulls the power off of here. Now, there are cards in the stage deck that will do damage for every active objective, and I just don't want to deal with that. We need to find some cash. I pull from the bottom so that it doesn't disrupt the top, so I don't have to pull everything out and do it all on camera again, all that kind of stuff. So I just make my life easier by pulling from the bottom. You can do things however you want. Just search either the discard or the regular shuffle pile. It doesn't matter what. If you've already gotten cash out of there, that's all it's required. You're in a casino. You're just throwing money at stuff. Okay, so she's flipped over that particular one. There's nothing going on these. Jin has already moved. I can exhaust top card of the enemy deck to get rid of it. That's another Jin. Action has been used. I have not played a card, so we'll see if I got anything. There's 2 fallbacks in here. Did I draw a card last time? I don't think I did, because I had 2 fallbacks from before. Okay, so I have another Remain Silent I can play. Okay, fallbacks. There they are. Don't forget, I have to draw a card. Remain Silent lets me toss another one off, so I'm gonna pull another one off the deck there. And cool. I don't have to worry about too much else. I have to go through here. Do I want to put anything there? No. I have to activate within 2 spaces. I am within 3, so that just means that he's going to gain a punch token. Then this one has one. Yellow Jin is going to activate. That means he's going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3. And Brandon is probably going to have to take care of that Jin. Dao, he only attacks for 3. Jin's attack for 4. So we'll see how that stuff all goes together. Wambo is going to move 1. And then deals 2 general damage to fighter within 2 spaces. There's no one within 2 spaces. It gains 1 random defense token, so that's a kick. So those are all activated. Jin's gone. Ying pulls a card. So this is another Remain Silent. The fancy one. Then we need to pull a card for no whammies. Alright, we got a Dao. Dao gets a kick and a grapple. He goes here. Sorry, we need to unexhaust all those guys. We have a lot of stuff in hand. We don't have any. Well, we have one more tactic. We have Viper Stance. Oh, we have a 3rd Viper Stance we can play. Alright, so we're gonna. Okay. So the combo effect is to draw a card, but at a certain point we're gonna have so many cards in our hand, and I think we're getting to that level where it's just gonna be more valuable to be able to attack than it is to just shove the entire deck of Brandon's deck in his hand. If you had all these in and you did a charged effect, you'd have like every card in your hand within 8 turns. So I'm not going to worry so much about that. It would be awesome though, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep that here. I want to stop from her getting hit. So I'm going to move him up and attack. This one will be for 4+1 against Dao. Dao has no tokens for punch, and he does punch attack. So right now it's basically like a free attack. If I can get 6 damage out of it, which is going to take at least 1 critical, which I don't get. So it does 4 damage. Okay. Sorry, Jin. It was against Jin. 4 damage, and those were all punch. So, yeah, those go away. He does 3 damage total. No, 2 damage total. And he gets 2 punch tokens. So, but I get to exhaust Jin for that fight. So that's one less dude to worry about as far as that is concerned. I'm going to then exhaust Lotus. If I exhaust Lotus, that's 3 spaces. Who's within 3 spaces of me? 1, 2, 3. I should have exhausted Lotus first. If I had exhausted Lotus first, then it would have taken all of their defense tokens away, and it would have done 4 damage. Well, that's what you get for not paying attention. You know what? I can't do that because she's got so little defense tokens. In case she does get hit, I think I need to. And she doesn't have any because she's so far away. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the one where she gives defense tokens to everybody. All right, so 2 grapples are gonna go to Jin. He's first in the cycle, and a grapple and a punch are going to go to her. And Brandon's going to get 2 punch tokens. He is the king of the punch defense right now. If somebody would actually punch him, he'd flip and we'd have some major crazy action going on, but I don't want to do that just yet. If I can avoid getting hit and gaining tokens, that's gonna help me out on that end. So everybody's done stuff, so we're back. I don't need to put anything there. So he's not within for kick, so he's going to gain a kick defense token. Activate, move 4 spaces towards the nearest fighter and attack. So he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to attack Brandon. He's going to do so for 3. That's 3 grapple tokens. He doesn't have any other grapple tokens. So do I want to take the damage? In which case I'd have to get rid of these 2 things and put a power on the house. This is an opportunity for me to take damage since I can heal through my combo effects and actually get rid of one of these stupid things. I'm going to discard both of these just to discard them so I don't have to keep tracking them. Because I am inundated with options that's on the table. So I will go ahead and get rid of that, but that is going to put 2 power on the house. Yellow Dow is going to attack. Sorry, we need to finish here. Then retreat 2 spaces and gain 1 random defense token. So he retreated 2 spaces. He's going to gain 2 random defense tokens. 2 punch tokens go to Red Dow. I'm getting low on tokens, as you can see, because I only put in half. I'm gonna have to use some up. Do something. Do something. Yellow Dow is going to stay where he is, and he's going to attack for 3 against the mighty Jin. 2 grapples and a kick. So that's that. Then he's going to retreat, but he can't really retreat. The only way he can go is up. Let's just let him do that. Because it's away from from Jin, who who he was attacking, and then he's going to, for 2, gain 2 random defense tokens. That's a grapple and kick, which he already had a bunch of. Okay, so there's that. Finishing off. All right, draw a card, because we forgot at one time. And then we're going to continue on to boss's turn. So he's going to attack. There's no one to attack. Mercy effect, heal 1 damage. Each fighter discards a token, so she doesn't have anything to discard. And that gets us some tokens back. He has to get 2 of each, which he has. He doesn't have any other tactics in play. That part's awesome. Move 3 spaces to the nearest inactive objective, so he moves here and stays on top of it. I want to move her back down to here next time so that he continues to make that circuit. And because it happens to be 4 spaces away, it gives me 1 spot every other turn with a little bit of relief. So that part would be good. And then we can continue to power up and try to find tactics and stuff in our decks as we just move him back and forth. He's just going to get like every token in the game, but maybe we can use her in some capacity to siphon off some tokens. And if we're going to use Brandon to do the big attacks, we only really need to just worry about punch tokens. So that's kind of a way to go about it. He did his thing. So we have 1 we have to put into play. So that's back up to 3. We could use cash at any time to exhaust minions, but like I said, I was trying to get more. If I have to worry about it, then I will. I'm just not that worried about it right now. Draw a card. Collateral damage. Each fighter must discard all defense tokens from each frightened gambler in their threat area or discard 1 card from their hand. So he doesn't have, if no copy is in play. There is 1 in play. There are these 2 in play. So that happens. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all we have to do. That's all we have to worry about. Otherwise, we would have to discard cards from our hand, and we don't want to do that because that's important to us. So that's out, and we're on to the next deal. Turn is back with us. Strong with us. We are strong. That stays exhausted. We got stuff in our hand. We have to pull a card, which is a purple Dow. And that gets a kick and a grapple. Purple Dow. It's actually closest to here now. So he's going to make his way over, but I don't really have to worry too much about that. All the stuff that I have in my hand. We have another Remain Silent. I can gain 2 defense tokens over choice and choose a fighter to draw 1 card. So I'm going to play it. I get 2 punch token. You know what? I'll take 2 kick tokens just to take them. And I get to draw a card. So I have a hunch, and I can put that down and power up as well. So that further reduces things. This hunch does not have an exhaust, but this hunch does. So basically, but this hunch here has a way to mitigate damage by shuffling 1 copy of that minion from the enemy discard pile back into the deck. So this one was just exhaust to reduce, and this one you have to shuffle the stuff back into the enemy deck. If I know that there are more of these terrible tactics still in here, I may want to do that just to put more minions back in to get it watered down until I can discard the tactics and the heavenly other dragon stuff, and then just keep shuffling stuff back into the shuffling minions back in to get rid of the tactics. The tactics are worse than the minions. The minions you can exhaust. The tactics are a pain. You might not even be able to get rid of them. So that's an option there. I have things I can do. I'm going to start by moving back towards my group of friends. I have not used my action yet. If I do use the action, it will be to let Brandon get a power, draw a card, so he gets another nunchuck grab, and play a card, which will be this other hunch, which I'm going to just set here, even though they're the same card, because they have different effects. I'm going to do that. When I put it into play, it doesn't give me anything, so that's all fine and good. I want to discard 3 cards off of here, so it gets rid of Merciless Clutch, gets rid of a Jin, and it gets rid of a Wanbo. Nobody's engaged, doesn't matter. It was just get rid of that Merciless Clutch card because I knew it was somewhere in there. And this is going to be probably another minion because it's gotten rid of the 2 tactics so far. So that's at least one set of rounds where I don't have to worry too much about that. I have Jin left to go. He's been real useful here next to this one to be able to hit these enemies, so that's probably pretty good. I'll just put him into a spot a little further away from where Along is going to be, and I'm going to attack that Dao here. So it's 3 general damage. So yeah, some grapples and kicks are gone. From there, he's exhausted. I've used the actions, I've used my move, I've drawn my cards, played the cards. So that's the end of Yinghua's turn. And my next step is to get hit by stuff. So put that there. He's going to gain a punch token. And I got to put that there. This will unexhaust. This Wanbo is going to move 1. Nothing else is in his arc. This purple is going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move back 2. And he gains 2 random defense tokens. So 2 grapples for purple Dao. Brandon's turn. She draws a card. So, okay, I got another shadow kick. Alright, thankfully it was not a tactic, but it is a Dao. And he's going to attack Jin for 3. So I have to make a decision. Is it better with Lotus, who's unexhausting? Is it going to be better with her to steal tokens from these guys or to give everybody defense tokens? Because Yinghua doesn't have any defense tokens and Jin's going to have to defend, possibly against 2 attacks, maybe 1. Let's see how things play out. It's just better to do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and look at my cards. So I have Bite Back, and that's a tactic that will allow me to reduce damage taken by Brandon. So I'm going to have that in play because we might start taking some damage. So I'm going to keep that there. I got a lot of Viper jabs. You know, at this point, just kind of organize yourself. Nunchucks. So, okay. So when I do cycle back through, because after one more of the power generating pieces, then he's going to flip. And that's probably going to happen on this round. So get rid of, I think I can get rid of this Jin, but this Dao is going to attack. He's yet to go, and he will go. This guy I can't really reach just yet, but if I attack this one, I can exhaust him, and this one's not going to attack yet. So I think it's going to be better if I attack this Dao. And I'm going to do it with these three, so it's 3 plus 1. So 4 dice plus 1 direct damage. I need to take out some stuff and get some loot, because she's stacking up on loot. He's not, so that's 2 punch defense, and that's 2 damage. Womp womp. But it will exhaust him because of the combo effect on nunchuck grab. So I've done that much at least. Lotus is going to exhaust, and she's going to give everybody this time their defense tokens. So I'm going to start going around that way with Jin. So that's punch and kick. Lotus is kick and grapple. Brandon, grapple and punch. We got a big old stack. And Ying, she's gonna take whatever she can get. Grapple and kick. Alright, so that is that. Okay, Dao's gonna run at the fray, and he's gonna attack for 3 against Brandon. Three punch attacks, so that's gonna flip. That reduces immediately 5 power away from Brandon in order to flip over. So he's gonna have 2 left. So he's gonna go absolutely bonkers on the next turn. Okay. Oh, you know what I should have done before that though? Is each fighter reduces by a defense token. So just... Oh, that's actually the mercy effect. So it's still gonna happen. I'm not that worried about it. It's just planning ahead, so don't worry about that. But the kick goes there, and they're equal stacks, so I know I've been keeping track of it. Yeah, this guy readies. This guy, he has to retreat for 2 first and take his 2 defense tokens. He's gonna get a punch and a kick. All right, now that Dao. Two punch and a grapple. So punch, grapple. She will reduce the damage. He's going to retreat this way. Grapple. Kick. And then we move. Yeah, chameleon stance is going to happen. So this chameleon stance is going to be awesome. show you how that's going to work in a second. There's a combo that we can do with it that is going to be very, 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 very helpful in getting rid of a lot of this stuff. So we're back to the boss. He doesn't do anything because of where he's at. He's got all that stuff. We already did the mercy effects. Stage rules. So we have one active in place. That one active is going to generate power. Draw a card. Blind bet. Tactic, attack, or ability. I've got a lot of tactics in play, so I don't think any of them are going to pop up. Yeah, I think I'm just going to say attack. We'll see what happens. And I have to reveal the top X cards of the deck, the number of active objectives, which is 1. So I shuffle. And this one's an attack. Since I said attack, it goes into my hand. For her, I'm gonna say also attack. You can hear me shuffling. Yeah, so that goes into my hand. Oh, sorry. Oh, it was just the one. Yeah, so it was just the one. So that it was done correctly. Stage card was done, so we're back here. Unexhausting, unexhausting, exhausting, unexhausting. Since everything's in the discard pile, we have to shuffle. So that's where card sleeves are handy, also for holding on to paper revisions of various cards. The saddlers hate having these, but I like card sleeves. I think they're exciting. Got a green Jin, and he gets 2 punch tokens, I think. Yeah. Green Jin goes here, and we have a lot of minions. So many minions. I can actually help now. First, look at the cards in my hand. I can do a ton of kick damage to somebody. And I think it's going to have to be this Jin, because I think he's going to be the one I can get rid of the easiest. So I'm going to step forward onto him. I'll play no shadow kick. So it's going to allow me to attack and then exhaust some cards that I control in order to increase the attack. So I'm going to exhaust my own card first, and that's going to allow me to have 3 dice. Okay, so that's 1 crit, so that's 4 damage. That is enough to kill the yellow Jin. So now we have a Jin in our discard pile, and we have another. Ooh, the only way for Ying to heal is a turkey dinner, and she pulled that, so that part's good. This card goes. We haven't discarded any cards for her, so I gotta kind of make a better use of that. He goes away. So she's used her action, and she's played a card. She hasn't used her action. She's used her move, but she's that's as far as it's gotten, right? You can choose a fighter to draw a card and play 1 card. So if I use my action to move, I can't play another card. But if I use this to let a fighter get a power and draw a card, sorry, this one. So I'm going to let Brandon get a power. I'm going to let him draw a card. It's another chameleon stance, which is fine. Then I get to play 1 more card. And the card I'm going to have it do is fall back. So it lets each fighter move 1 space and gain. Then each unengaged fighter gains 2 defense tokens of their choice. So I'm going to move there. He's going to move there. She's going to move there. He's going to move there. And that means each unengaged fighter, so right now Jin is still engaged. Two of their choice. I don't have any kick defense on the mighty Jin or Brandon over here. She doesn't have Jack, so it's gonna have to give her those defense tokens. And Lotus is just gonna take a punch and a grapple to even things out. If each fighter gained defense tokens this way, they did not, but I gained defense tokens, so that part was good. I'd otherwise be able to do some extra stuff. But I played a card, did all that fun stuff. Jin has not gone yet. He's going to attack the yellow Dao, and that will get rid of one of those, and it'll add two of these. I can have a purple Dao over here. I've got a green Jin over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to throw cash at the green Jin and exhaust him. You guys can't see it. I'm going to dump 3 cards off of the top here. So one was invincible armor, thankfully. The other two don't matter because she's not engaged with anybody. So the next step is Manbo's going to move. I don't move anything there. Defense token for punch. It's going to go over here. Purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So he gains 2. 2 kick tokens. He unexhausts. Doesn't do anything. Okay. Then we have to draw a card. Dao is green. Gonna go here. It's the nearest unoccupied spot. Gains a kick and a grapple. It's fine. Brandon is gonna do one crazy attack. We'll see how that goes in a second. Chameleon Stance here is what I want to play. This is also the card that allows me to heal when combos happen in my hand, so I want to keep one in my hand. This is a starred card, so it's not that big a deal. But I want one in play because it also beefs up my attacks. I want to move to get as close to as many engaged folks as I can. I am going to do a 6 dice plus 1 direct damage attack against green Jin. In a second. What do I want to do first? If I peel a bunch of defense tokens from people, so keep in mind she's unexhausted at the start. 2 defense tokens off of everyone within 3 of her. So that's yellow Dao, green Jin, which helps this attack quite a bit. Blue, let's take some grapple. No, you know what? I'm running out of kick tokens, so I'm gonna take kick tokens away from Dao. Bust this move. All right. So that's 5. 5 damage against Jin. Sorry. Yeah, Jin. 5 damage, and I get 2 punch tokens back. So that's enough to take out Mr. Jin. He's gone. Gains a loot. Smoke bombs. You can put power on it whenever. Let's do it now. I'll make it easier for you guys. Okay, so that did this attack, so we actually have to flip back over, and it's going to do the combo effect of every card in your hand that you want to use. So let's look at the stuff that's in my hand. Heal 1 damage I don't need. Exhaust a minion engaged with you and gain 1 defense token from that minion. Well, that'll be exhausting this guy. Then gain 1 power. Okay, gaining power. That's cool. Gain a defense token from any enemy within 3 spaces of you. So that's gain. So I take that. Half-inch punch. Second time, gain 1 defense from each enemy within 3 spaces of you. Deal 2 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you from the Viper Punch. So that goes 2 damage against someone who already has 4 against them. So Yellow Dow is off the board. Nobody else is engaged with me, so that part is fine. I get a loot card though. Lead Pipe. 3 direct damage to an adjacent enemy, so that part is fun too. Alright, that moves all this stuff down a little bit. Is there anything I didn't do? I moved, I attacked, I played a card, I used Lotus, so I think I'm down to doing this stuff, this housekeeping. Red, 1, 2, 3. So he's going to attack Brandon for 3. Which I actually want him to do now in order to get more power. Because I will clear off some minions using Brandon. So that's 2 punch tokens. So those 2 punch tokens leave 1 power left. It's going to flip him. And oh man, it'd be nice if there was an easier way to keep track of all this stuff, but I've looked and there really isn't. Okay, so there's that. Then I could have accepted a damage, and did a combo effect. I don't really think I need to do that. He's going to gain 2 because he's going to retreat. And gain 2. If you corner those guys and they can't get away, they stop getting all those defense tokens, but we haven't cornered him yet, so he has plenty to go around. Blue Dow, he's going to run up and do the same. So he's going to attack Brandon for 3. All 3 are grapples. There's that. And then green. Oh, sorry. We need to roll for his retreat. Grapple and a punch. Green, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Same thing. Grapple and a kick. So I'll be sure to punch him because he's weak on punch. So that did all of this stuff. He got his kick token and all that kind of craziness. Then we need to move over to the enemy side. There's nobody for him to hit. Mercy effect discards 1. Actually, kick is what I'm low on from everybody. That's it for that part. Then he's going to move towards the nearest 1, 2, 3 for here. I'm going to put, there's 1 in play, so I'm just going to flip 1 in. I desperately need to flip that that token. So I'm gonna have to be creative on how I do that. Draw a card. Pit Boss. Search the enemy deck and discard pile for a minion card and choose a fighter to draw that card. So I can pick any minion, and it's going to be the Pit Boss. I'm going to pick a purple Djinn. I've shuffled Pit Boss, draw. It's going to go in here. I picked him because I think I can get rid of him quickly. Pit bosses are going to make active objectives happen, so we want to get rid of him as quickly as possible because on the next round he's going to start moving towards other stuff that I don't like. I'm going to draw a card because we're now back at this phase. This is a blue Djinn, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's still the same equidistant amount. I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. I'm going to put blue Djinn up here. I want to unexhaust everything. I want to 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna, since I'm next to Dow and I know there's a bunch in there, I'm going to, if I exhaust all of these right now, discard the top card of the enemy deck and deal 1 general damage for each copy of the discarded card in the discard pile. So it's going to discard 3, and then I count how many is in the pile. So, sorry. Discard the top and deal 1 to each enemy engaged with you for each of the discarded card. So it has to match. Doesn't match. So that was 1. Now this is 2. Doesn't match. And 3. Wanbo. How many Wanbos do I have in the discard pile? I have 2 Wanbos in the discard pile. Okay, so that's going to do general damage to purple. What type of damage am I doing right now? I'm doing grapple damage. Okay, so that's 2 to the purple guy. And then I've got other options, things I can do to maybe move. What other stuff can I do? What other stuff can I do? 3 direct damage, lead pipe. I'm going to go ahead and discard that and do 3 direct damage to Dow. I have not taken an action yet, but do I want to draw a card and play a card? Have I played a card yet? I moved, I did this. I haven't played a card yet. I should have gotten rid of kicks, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to go ahead and do no shadow kick because it's going to allow me to do something. How's that sound? Something is good. I want to get here and I want to flip this over, but I don't think I'm going to make it this turn. If I fall back, it's not going to help, but maybe I can get rid of that Dow. That's the only thing I can think of right now. So I have a kick attack I can do with these sneakers. So it's going to allow me, during a kick attack, no shadow kick does 3 attacks, so it's up to 3 times. It's not going to be for each one. I think it's just during the first one, or second one, or third one, whatever one you decide to use it with. Anyway, I'm going to do 3 kick damage, which is going to get rid of these. It's also going to give me 2 kick defense tokens, so that part's good. Now that this is discarded, I have to do the other 2. Actually, I can exhaust here, and that would have given me one more, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And that's one more kick defense on the one that happened. Okay, so he's at 4, and now I'm going to kick for how many? How many people am I exhausting? Jin did not do anything yet. I'm going to exhaust this hunch since it doesn't have an exhaust of its own, so that'll make that a little easier. That's another kick defense and 1 damage. So turn those in for a 5. Do I trust the dice? Do I trust the dice? I do not trust the dice. So I'm going to exhaust that last hunch, and hopefully I get 1 attack for 1 damage. And that is enough to get rid of purple buddy over here. Ugh. So that drops him into that discard pile. He goes away. I get a loot. I can gain 2 power if I'm so inclined to do so. That's all I can do, I think, at this time, other than move Jin. So if he runs at purple Jin, which is the guy I want to get rid of the most, he comes here. That's going to get rid of 2 defense tokens and deal 1 damage. That I really, really want to get rid of, because he's going to be mobile. And the only way he's going to be able to move, he can't move through me when this activates. It kind of blocks that path, helps out a little bit. So that's Jin. Everybody's gone, and now we are activate. I don't need to move anything from there. Activate within 2 spaces of you. He is within 2 spaces of you, and he's going to deal 3 punch damage. So 1, and I'm going to take 2 damage. So I exhausted hunch to get rid of the thing, so I think it's going to be worth more. So I'll just have to take it. Unfortunately, that's also going to remove power from these guys. So he doesn't gain a token because he did the 3 punch damage. Then we move over here. Then I can move over to this card, so I'll have to move that one to that card. Then Wanbo is going to activate. He's going to move 1. And then blue Jin is going to move up 1, 2, 3. And then we draw a card. So, okay. Whew. All right. So what's going to be next? Flipping the last card. Oh no, Black Typhoon Kick. It's the same as the other Black Typhoon Kick. So now we're at the point where we're going to be losing 2 defense tokens per round, which means that Lotus has to give everybody defense tokens, otherwise we're going to be completely defenseless. That is terrible, terrible. I have to do a very gigantic hit. I have to do several very gigantic hits against the boss in order to get rid of those. So that sucks. Okay. But it will allow me to do some punching against this fella here. I'm going to attack Purple Jin, and I'm going to do it for, I need to hit for at least 4. So I'm going to get 4. And I'm going to exhaust 1. So that's going to be, sorry, I'm going to exhaust the top one. So it's going to do a direct damage. Do I want it on that one? No, I'm going to just use the bottom one. So that's going to be 5, because Chameleon Stance adds to that. So that's 5 dice. It's a 5 dice attack against somebody who has no defense tokens. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 punch tokens out of it. So that's 4. It's going to flip. Thankfully, this pit boss is now gone. So 1 goes into this discard, 1 goes into this discard. That Black Typhoon kick moves over. He's gone. I get a loot. Molotov cocktail. Within 3 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, I can hit Wanbo. Oh, you know, Wanbo should have been getting defense tokens. He's 1, 2, 3 spaces away. He should have had 2 other defense tokens. Let me just fix that. See, like I said, if you can fix it, fix it. If you can't fix it, don't worry about it. So he should have had a punch and a kick. These are all things to do with things engaged with me. I gain 1 power from it because of Dragon's Teeth was in my hand. I'd healed damage, but that's all the case here. That flips me back over. Yeah. So now I'm flipped back over. I forget if I had moved or not, but this Molotov cocktail, just dropping it into that range over there would be the best thing for me to do. I am going to start hitting this guy. I'm going to use Viper Jab, because I haven't used a card yet, and move 2 spaces, which will allow me to attack. I'm going to now exhaust the other 2, so I get a total of 3 added to that, which is 5 against the red guy. He's got such a stat going that I don't think it's going to be possible for me to do anything about that. No, you know what? Hold off on the Viper Jab. I'll take 2 power away from here, which would have allowed me to move up to the space. Then I'm going to chuck the Molotov cocktail, which will do 3 general damage to everybody here in this line, because I'm going to target that one, and it'll do everybody swirling around him. So that guy is now going to lose all his tokens. Blue Jin is going to lose all of his tokens and take 1 damage. Red Jin is going to lose 3. I'll take it from the punch stack because that's the type of damage I'm going to do next. Not worry about that lead pipe just yet. I'm going to go ahead and use the Viper Jab for 5, since that's what I've got going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get 1 crit. Two crits. Defense. So I get 2 punch tokens. Okay, so that's that bit of housekeeping. And I get to do 5 damage. So that's all punch damage. So that's going to remove those 3. It's going to do 2. I saved the top one to do +1 direct damage. So that's going to do 3. And I'll get rid of the lead pipe to finish him off, which is going to give me a soda, and I'll use the soda to draw a card because I don't want to have much other stuff on there. It's another Viper Jab. But that gets rid of that guy, and all of his defense tokens go back to the pile. This moves down. Okay. There's still stuff I can do because Viper Jab, the golden Viper Jab, now goes to a discard pile, which I have not really done much discard wise yet. Let me move this away because you don't really care about that, and that'll be my discard pile from now on. One of the things I can do with Chameleon Stance is I can exhaust it to do some stuff. I could have moved with the Viper Jab and done all the shit that I wanted to do. So I'll just have moved over here. And that did the attack. Now I'm going to reveal. And you can resolve the card's combo effect or draw it into your hand. Since this is the better version of Bite Back, I'm going to draw it back into my hand. Then what I'm going to do is choose one card from your discard pile to add to your hand, then discard one to resolve the combo effect. So I'm going to Chameleon Stance exhaust. Viper Jab is going to allow me to do 2 direct damage to an enemy engaged with me. Currently that is Wanbo, so Wanbo gets 2 direct damage. Lotus can survive an attack or 2 where she's currently at, so I'm not that worried about her. It would be nice to be able to give it to everybody, but I think really just keeping these 2 alive is the only thing that she's going to be able to have much function over right now. So Lotus will exhaust. Grapple and a kick. So, and punch and a kick. All right. So that is that. If Along is within 2 spaces of you, you is Brandon, he is not, gains a kick defense token. Blue. He is going to attack. He's going to move up and he's going to attack Jin. Punch, kick, grapple. So that's all that. He's going to move back 2. Gets his defense tokens. 2 kicks. Green. He's going to move up and he's going to attack Brandon for 3. Let's hope they're all punches. 1's a punch. 2 are grapple. After taking any amount of damage, reduce the damage by 1 and resolve the combo effect of any card in your discard pile. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then you may discard this card to attack for 2, dealing general damage. So that's Green Dow. So it's reduced by 1. So that's 1. 1 damage goes actually to Brandon for the first time. And resolve the combo effect. Discard pile, so it's going to be Viper Jab, deal 2 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you. I'm going to do that to Wanbo since he's the one I fear the most when it comes to this stuff. Discard it, so I'm going to discard it for an attack, dealing general damage. And it's going to be... And Chameleon Stance is exhausted, so it's only for 2. I don't get any extra bonuses for that. But it's going to do 2 extra damage to Wanbo. So he's down that far. If I had a Shuriken right now, oof, I would be lighting him up and getting rid of him. So That's what that deal is on there. Kick, another defense token. It's going to go there. Sorry, he needs to retreat too. And the reason why I wanted to go ahead and discard that one is because I pulled a different bite back, and I want to have all the upgraded cards in use that I can. So that's kick and grapple. For that stuff. We would move over here. There's no one to attack. I activate Mercy, heal damage. Each fighter discards, each fighter discards. So that's going to be a discard. That's going to be a discard. That's going to be a discard. And he doesn't have anything to discard. So we're going to move off that and start doing stage stuff. So place one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's currently 1 in place, so that's at 6. So we need to pick up the pace on discarding power from here. What terrible thing is going to happen? Discard all tokens from Frightened Gambler. So that was 1 here. Or discard 1 card from their hand or fighter play area for each Frightened Gambler. So I'm going to have to discard a card. I'm going to let it be, I know, Shadow Kick. I don't have any Frightened Gamblers in my play area here. So there's that. Oh, I needed to put that in my hand. I did not draw a card either. Collateral damage is done. We're back to regular play. We have to shuffle again because Ying drops so much of this deck off every time that she has a turn. And in addition to that, Yellow Djinn. Okay, so Yellow Djinn will go here, and he's going to get 2 punch tokens. I know what I need to do with her. It's going to be, sorry, he didn't move. He's going to move over here. And house gets, we said it said 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the second one. She's running over here. She's going to flip it over. So 3 are gone. Cash goes back into play. She's just going to exhaust the Djinn with the cash. This Djinn will run up and attack this Dao for 3. General damage. So that helps there. Are there any cards she can play? She can play Fall Back. Since she was interact, it's the only thing she can do. She'll fall back on that one. And that's going to move here, 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 here. And since everybody is now unengaged, they gain 2 defense tokens of their choice. So she'll get a punch and a kick, and he'll get a couple of grapples. She'll get a grapple. Why not just everybody get some grapples? Because they don't have much in the way of grapple tokens. 3 spaces of you 2 direct damage. Actually, if I would have moved down there, 1, 2, 3, still in the same effect, so I'm not worried about it. 3 spaces of you 2 direct damage. So this guy is going to take 2. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stay where I'm at here, and I'm going to do this guy the 2 direct damage. Okay, so that's all fine. Oh man, where do you go from there? It's time to start exhausting stuff. So 1, nobody's connected to me. 2, nobody's connected to me. 3, Wanbo. It would have been problematic for a Wanbo, but that didn't do anything. So there we go. I gotta move my tokens over to these gamblers. I have to give a punch token to the boss. This guy is going to attack for 5 against Brandon. So let's hope they're all punch related. Did I only pull 4 dice? Only pulled 4 dice. Nope. So it's going to be 2 grapples, kick, 1 more. Sorry. Get it thrown away. A grapple. So that's 2 damage. I'm going to reduce the damage dealt to him by 2, since I don't have bite back out right now. And so that will take care of Wanbo's attack. Blue Jin is now going to move up, and he's going to deal 3 general damage, so that's going to be off the punches. So starting to get that power back. He's exhausted, so he's just going to unexhaust. Woo. Alright, give her a card. I may have forgotten to get her a card the last time. Just look to make sure. Alright, and then all of his stuff comes back. Alright, he's got to pull a card, and it is a red Jin, which will go here based on where he's positioned. Take 2 tokens there. I would love it if he could hit there, but I don't think he can. Let's see, I don't have flip kick or anything else in my hand that will allow me to do stuff. This bite back is better off if it's in my hand. Oh, you know what? That was a discard. But I ended up drawing one anyway. So I'm going to set the other bite back down, and that'll be my card move. So that'll help me with defense. I can do a lot of crazy stuff, but I think it's better if I run up here, have all those folks here, and I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack Jin. No, I'm going to attack Blue Wanbo for 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so let's do 6. You know what? Let's just do 7. That's fine. 7. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7. That's a good thing I did, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take him out. It's going to do 1 extra damage. Don't forget that one. And it's going to do 1, 2, 3. So he's going to have enough to live. But I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 punch tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all the punch tokens. card. One of his effects is going to be to heal, so I'm not going to worry about that. Alright. Take a defense token of my choice. There's none. Deal 2 general damage to each enemy engaged with you. So that's going to do 2 general damage here. So we're going to get rid of Wenbo. Take loot card, another Molotov cocktail, which is great. 1 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you. That heals. Exhaust a minion, so he'll get exhausted. Exhaust a minion, exhaust a minion. Gain a power, which is going to flip. Brandon over. Are these punch tokens? Yeah, these are all punch tokens. Alright, so that goes there. Where was I? Defense token, deal 1 direct damage to an enemy. So, okay, so not only exhausted, there's that. So that did the attack. Lotus still has to do whatever she's going to do. What does he have? I can play from the discard pile. I'm going to play Viper Jab, dealing 2 direct damage, which is going to kill this Jin. So he's gone. I'm going to get a loot card. Stink Bombs. I can move an enemy up to 3 spaces. Discard this. It says enemy, so it's going to move him 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. If I move him there, and I sit on top of the the green with Lotus, then I will be in a better position that way. So I'll go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3. I could hit the green Dow and do 3 damage to him, but it doesn't really do me much good. So I'll go ahead and exhaust Lotus. She's going to stand here, and she's going to get hit, but she can withstand 1 hit, and he's going to move after that. Yeah, so I'll let her withstand 1 hit, and then go from there. She's going to give Jin and herself 2 random defense tokens. Grapple and a punch. Punch and a kick. I don't think there's anything else I can do at this point. Blue Dow is going to attack Jin because he's closest, and that's for 3. That's 2 punches and a kick, so he would lose 1 punch. I can no, that's not an exhaust, but I could shuffle 1 copy of that minion from the enemy deck. So that's Dow. Oh, I can't mitigate it. Yeah, so he's just going to take 2. That's not right. 2. Then we're going to move to green. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. 2 punch tokens on the blue guy. Green. 3. He's going to attack for 3. So that I'm going to bite back. So it'll reduce by 1, so he'll take 2 damage. And one combo effect of any card in your discard pile. So that's going to be 2 direct damage for Viper Jab. Then he's going to move back. He'll roll for 2. And that's a grapple and kick. Nope, wrong one. No, that's the right one. Did every fighter discard 1 token from before? Not that it matters. Every fighter discards another token. Red, he can't attack where he's at. He's going to have to run up. And he's going to try to do 3 general damage, which is going to be down to 2. If I have any Jins, I do. I can shuffle that back into the deck. It's going to reduce the damage by 2. So, housekeeping all of our tokens. So we're done. We're finally at the end. And oh, yeah, he was supposed to get kick tokens, and I already did this, so yeah, that's what that actually did. All right, so as part of the activation, he's going to move. He'll move 1, 2, 3, and he won't be able to make it, but that was the closest target for him. Then the house needs to add 1 power. Then we're gonna pull a card. We got another pit boss. We're just supposed to find something to draw. So just have it be the Jin. And she doesn't have anything in her area, so that will bounce it back over here, which is maybe advantageous. To have that go there. That clears out all this stuff. We're going to go back. We're going to reset everything. So we've got these 2 here. I'm going to play Observe and Report. This will allow me to gain defense tokens and power every time I exhaust it, so that's good. And it'll actually allow me to return cards in whatever order I want if I feint it. So that part's good. I have 3 tactics out, so that's not everything I can do. But I've pretty much got most of the tactic stuff set up. I believe there are 3 tactics for each player. So she's going to be about as good as we can get. There might be one more hunch in there. And that could power us up a little bit, give us one more thing to exhaust. So there's that. Oh, sorry. From the pit boss, I am looking at a bunch of different options, and I think that the best thing to do is attack the pit boss with Jin, which is going to give one there. Okay. And let's just make sure they don't fall off the table. Square things up a little bit. I need to move Ying. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3. Actually, I could try to hit with our Remain Silent, because what it does is it discards the top card of the enemy deck and deal 1 general damage to each enemy engaged with you for each copy that's discarded. I got a couple things that are discarded. I might be able to do some damage, so let's do these one at a time. And so the first one is Dao, and I only had 1 Dao here, so that's going to do 1 general damage. I might as well do it on punch since I need those tokens. Then I'll do it again, and that's Jin. So that's 1. Get some tokens back. Doing it that way. And then the third time, so that's Dao. So that's 2 Daos this time. So that'll whittle that part down. So it's like a free bit of damage just by standing next to him. And I'll move. So she's going to go... Was she here before? I don't know. I think she can only make it there. Based on the moves. So not quite enough to get where she needs to go, but we'll see if something else happens. Card was played. I'm not adjacent to anybody, but I'll go ahead and get a power and a token of my choice. Make life a little easier. And before I do my action, let's see. I can draw a card, which I need to do, and that'll give me another observe and report. I can play a card, which is Phoenix Tail, and it allows me to attack an enemy within 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That blue Dao, and I can exhaust up to 3 cards I control to add +1, and then I can move into any empty space if I wanted to. So I'm just going to go ahead and play Phoenix Tail. I'm going to exhaust Hunch, and my own card. That's going to allow me to do 5 dice of attack against blue Dao, who has no kick tokens right now. So let's hope for a crit. I got crits. I got 3 crits. So I'm going to drop 3 more dice in the cup. See what happens. Okay, so that's 7, and I get a kick defense token. That's 7 damage against this Dao, so he's gonna go away because there's nobody else I can do any damage to. And we're starting to do some stuff. Not a lot of stuff, but we're starting to do some stuff. So that's over. Jin's done his thing. Then we don't need to move anything. Gains a punch token. So it's a good thing we brought some of them down. Doesn't need anything. Then he's going to do something. He's going to attack. I think Jin may die right now. Our Jin. So he's going to get hit for 4. There's not a lot I can do about that. I could have not done as much damage and try to save Mr. Jin a little bit. But he's just not that necessary maybe anymore. This Jin here is going to go 1, 2, 3. I think he's down to 1 because he took 4 damage. So he's down to 1 life left. That sucks. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Then we'll pull a card, green Jin on that side. So green Jin, and he'll get 2 punch defense. And we got to unexhaust all of our stuff. We have that in our hand. We need to draw a card for her. I may have forgotten to draw some cards. I don't know. There's so many things going on in hand at this point. I need to get close to do some attacking. If I get 1, 2, 3, if I'm here, I can attack pretty heavy. Who do I want to attack heavy? Definitely the pit boss, right? So I'm going to, I need to do 7 damage against him. I'm going to go ahead and, see all this stuff flopping around? I'm going ahead and just attack the red one. That's going to be 3 dice plus 1 for chameleon stance, and then I'll exhaust these 3 for 3 more dice, and it'll get a +1 direct damage. All hits, all hits. Give me crits. Okay, I got 2 crits. So that's at 1 hit. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so far. Got to roll 1 more time just to see if I get a defense token. I do not. But that's going to give 1 defense token on the punch side. It's going to obliterate these. Red Jin is gone. Bye, Red Jin. And it's going to make me go through the stack of stuff, gain a defense tokens, and deal 2 general damage to each enemy engaged with you. So that's 2 damage on blue. And do I have any other bite backs in here? I do have 2. I have a Viper, so deal 1 direct damage. I already had a direct damage, went towards that one, so that's 1 here. Defense token, gain a power. So that'll go there. Exhaust the minion, so that's good. He'll be exhausted. Yeah, and I had a second Viper Jab in there. So that actually just myrtleizes the blue Jin. I should get 2. This discard, this goes in this discard. Martial Arts Magazine, I can get random defense tokens, and I'm going to give them to him, Mr. Jin. Maybe I can keep him alive for a little bit longer. That's 1. So that gets rid of the defense magazine. 2 direct damage to anybody. He's just going to heal if I use it on him, so I don't want to do that just yet. She can move 1. Lost her. and give some defense tokens to Brandon. Another 2 punch tokens. Punch and kick to Jin. And to Miss Lotus herself is going to get 2 kick tokens. Okay. Are there any combo effects that I want to do from the discard pile? Bite back says gain 1 defense token of your choice and deal 1 general damage to each enemy engaged with you. So I could gain. So I'll go ahead and bite back the chameleon stance and gain a grapple token, because I got a ton of punch tokens, but I'm not so much on the grapple or kick tokens for them. Sorry, that was chameleon stance. Bite back I will use to defend, so I'm not worried about that part. Let's start looking at what the rest of our things are here. Kick token. Advance 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. And attack. So he's going to attack 3 against our lovely Lotus. So that's 2 kick and a grapple. He'll retreat 2. 1, 2. And he's going to gain 2. He'll gain a punch and a grapple. Gains another kick token. Green Jin is going to move up 3. 2, 3. And then if unengaged, so he's unengaged, so he's going to gain a random defense token. Which means he should have gained a random defense token too, right? You're right, he should have. Kick. We'll give that guy kick. Punch. Ooh. Police are out there. Maybe that's them going after the kingdom. So this has all been done. We're going to draw a card. So we haven't seen flip kick yet. Next time we'll be able to have extra moves. Maybe. We'll see. It says we also have to discard stuff, so we might not want to do that. That brings us over to the boss. And we'll do mercy effects. Discard 1 defense token. Discard 1 defense token. Healing damage isn't that big a deal. So, bye-bye Ying. Bye-bye punch tokens. Bye-bye kick tokens. And bye-bye kick and a punch. Lots of stuff discarded. So, you know, it's just the way the world is. And we forgot to flip this over for next time. All the housekeeping business. Actually, the heal would have gone through, so he would have healed 1 from that. Big deal. Okay. He has got 2 of each token, so Shadow Sun isn't a big deal. Then we have to move him. Mr. Long. He's going to flip over. We're going to get 2 power. And we're getting close here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 7 there. So there's a high possibility we could lose any second if we don't start finding new ways to get rid of those tokens. Blind bet. This is the shuffle and call out a card type. For her, let's say ability. Ah, there it is, Phoenix Tail ability. We can put that in our hand. For Brandon, he's only got a couple cards left. why not? We'll also say ability. This one was an attack, and sorry, it's for each active objective, so we have to pull a second one. Also an ability, so she got that. This one's an ability, so he gets that. That attack goes in there. Blind bet goes into the discard. Boy, we got so many discard piles. This has been a very long game, hasn't it? Not all this long. Most people are not going to be giving lengthy explanations of everything that they do. Or maybe they're just hanging around the table, and maybe it is going to take a little while. You might have more choices as to which fighters you can select, and it won't take as long. That's a theory. Let's rotate some folks back around. So much stuff to exhaust. We got our hand here. We have to pull a golden dragon. Oh no! Invincible armor. So that just allows him to have more defense tokens. So every round, he's going to do crazy amounts of damage. So every other round, I have to do a minimum of 3 damage to Along every round, or he's going to beat us up starting on the next round. So that's something we really got to be considerate of. Okay. I can move, flip, right? So I flip, and that's going to give me the opportunity to take 3 power off. So that's good. Then I get a cash from somewhere. Oh, didn't I use a cash not too long ago? Did I still have a cash? Here's a cash. Alright, so she gets a cash. And I can exhaust some minions. She's got the yellow gin, so here. I could exhaust that with cash, or I can do something else. I have a phoenix tail, so I can move up to 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I move, I'm going to get hit by a bunch of stuff. She does have a lot of health. I could also... Isn't this Blue Dow gone? Did we take out Blue Dow? Why is it not on the table? Is Blue Dow gone? This guy's gone. Anyway, I can't hear you through the camera, fellas. You know, you gotta speak up so I can know what's going on. You need to correct me. So I'm gonna Phoenix Tail down to attack him, which is gonna allow me to exhaust 3 cards. I need the defense token. I don't need this one as much, and the Remain Silence are going to be cool, but with only a couple cards left in here, I might not be able to do as much damage with them, so I'm going to say 1, 2, and 1 on the bottom for 3 exhausted cards. That's going to pump me up to 5. These. Okay, so that is 1 critical. More criticals, less problems. Okay, so that's a kick defense. So I get 3 kick defense. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 taken off there. So that whittles it down a little bit. And puts her here. And from there, we're gonna right to remain silent on the bottom one. So, or maybe not the bottom one. This one says, to each enemy engaged with you. So we're gonna start with the top one. Try to do more damage with it. So, discarding to a Dow. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Dows in our deck. So that's 4 general damage done to this guy. So that's going to be a significant utilization of that. And it's going to be 4 general damage done to this guy. So we'll take 2 punch off and 2 kick off, which you're probably just going to end up getting back anyway, but that's what happens. And then we'll do it one more time. So how many Wan bows are in here? So we have 3 Wan bows. So 3 damage is going to go to somebody as far as general damage, and it may as well go to Jin, so I have a better chance of defeating him on that end. Then I can get defense tokens and a power, so I'll get defense tokens and a power. I still have my hunches. I think that one's turned. I still have this hunch that has an exhaust. I use the Phoenix Tail. I still have my regular attack. I think I need to shuffle because this is another situation where you have the top of a deck becomes part of a discard pile. Or I can draw a card, gain a power, and then play a card. My hand, allows for some movement, and I can draw more cards. I think falling back is actually the best move I can do because everyone is going to gain 2 defense tokens of their choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my action on hunch, and that is going to allow me to draw a card, and it's going to allow me to gain a power. So now she flips because she only has 4. All right. I'm just gonna have to move it all again in a second, but and then I get to play a card. So that playing the card is going to be fall back. Everybody gets to move 1 space. So she's going to move out of range. She's going to move that way. So out of engage, back on top, over and over. So that's going to be helpful there. And everybody gets to choose 2 defense tokens. So she needs grapple. He needs some kick. She needs a grapple and a kick. He needs kick. Okay. And then I deal an enemy within 3, 2 direct damage, which is Mr. Jin. So he goes away. So already creating that discard pile pretty well. And I get a flashbang. So I can discard 2 tokens from an enemy engaged with me, so that would be cool. Next time I'm stuck looking at Mr. All Along, And luckily, that just leaves these two cards in my threat area, so that part's all gone. Jin has not gone yet. I need to keep him around Lotus, but away from stuff over here. So I'm just going to move him over a little bit. He can't actually hit anyone from his current space, so he can't actually take anyone out in his current space. And we don't know what the next flip's going to be, so I'm just going to move him kind of out of the way and do that deal. Actually, there. That's 2 away from this target, so that should be fine. So we'll go to the activations. We don't need to move anything over. He is within 2 spaces, so he's going to do 3 punch damage. I'm going to mitigate 2 of it. So that'll flip. What? I hit so hard it broke my little capsule with Hunch, so I'm not going to take any damage from there. I don't have to worry about these guys. Then he won't gain a defense token, so that part's cool. Don't worry about that. Everything else is clear. Perfect. Gonna go ahead and draw a card for next time, so that'll be another useful card. Then pull here for Jin again, purple. He's gonna appear on this side. He's gonna have his defense tokens right there. She can defend pretty well. He can't. So I think I should try to start taking out Dow here. I think that's my best chance of taking one of these guys out. So I'm going to go ahead and run up, and I'm going to attack. Sorry. All these things over here are now readied, and it is going to be for 5 dice, plus 1 direct damage. Punch down. So let's see if we can take Dow out. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 punch tokens. King of the punch tokens. That's 4. I got a crit. Another punch token. So that's 5 plus 1. So 1 is automatically going to go through. He had 6. That's enough to take him out. So that's how you get your tokens back into the carrier, folks, is taking out those minions that have way too many tokens on them. Alright, so he got some good shots in, but you know that's not gonna damage me. Nobody is near him or anything, so the combo effect from the hand I'm going to use is healing 1. So that's that. That was a move. That was a attack. I can still play cards. This was exhausted during the use of that attack. I can just do combo effects. So flip back or flip kick. I can Viper Jab, but that's going to take things out of my hand. That would allow me to move 1, which isn't really too good. I can move up to 2 spaces and attack for 3 kick damage, which would be 4. And I could just shuriken the green Jin out by playing this card. So I'm going to go ahead and play Dragon's Teeth and bring him closer here. Cleaning up the board is going to give me the opportunity to start striking the boss, because then the minions will have to walk up. They'll have to actually get towards me, and that'll save some effort. So 3, and because Chameleon stance is still up, so it's 4. So that's 3 kick plus 1 kick. 3 damage. And then use the shuriken. Actually, yeah, use the shuriken. And that goes away. These go away. He pulls another loot card for grapple attacking, which is cool. I want to use Lotus for the purpose of gaining some tokens that are sorely needed. I'm going to move her here so she's within range of these guys, and that's her exhaust. Mr. Jin, he's going to get 2 grapple tokens. Miss Lotus, so they get a grapple and a punch. Miss Ying is going to get a kick and a punch. So, kick and punch. Alright. There's nothing I can put a card back in my hand and discard a card. So if I want, I can put Dragon's Teeth back in my hand using Chameleon Stance, and I'll get rid of Flip Kick to be able to do that extra movement again, and I can move 1 space and discard 1 card from your hand to resolve its combo effect. I'll move 1 space and get a little closer, but that's about it. That's all I'm willing to do. I don't want to do another combo effect, so there's that. Activate. All along is not within 2. So otherwise he does 1 kick defense, 1 kick defense, that's 2 kick defense. And there's that. Jin, purple Jin. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I wanted him to attack her. And I'll just take 1, 2, and 3. So she could soak that damage without too much effort. Then we're gonna go. We're gonna draw a card. Wow, we got another Dragon's Teeth. All right, so that'll be fun next time. This is what his hand looks like right now. There's no hand limit. That's why you get crazy amounts of options. He just does combos, 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 and that's what Brandon's good at. Then we're gonna go back to Along. He's not gonna do anything. And then mercy cards. So he would heal, which he does not have any damage, and we're gonna discard defense tokens. So that's 2 here. That's 2 here. That's 2 here. 2 here. So we've been dancing around this board, doing all kinds of stuff. Shadow Sun's going to bring him back up to that, and then Invincible Armor is going to get him to 3 defense tokens. We don't like that. 3 grapple defense tokens. Which means I have to do a grapple attack in order to get rid of those. Fortunately, Yinghua, her regular attack is a grapple. That's helpful. But I'm going to have to find like Nunchaku Grab or something to hit those off of. Or I could use Jin, and Jin will probably die as a result of it, but it will prevent round after round of damage going against me there. So that's something to think about. We have to move him. So that's 1 left. This gets power. Collateral damage. Each fighter must discard all defense tokens from Frightened Gambler in their hand. So they had 2. So that's cool. He does not have any frightened gambler, so we don't have to worry about that. We go back, pulling threat cards, and resetting all of our areas here, including her regular card. Dow is going to take grapple and a kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's closer there. So hopefully we'll find some other thing to do. Let's see what's in my hand. So I've got another hunch, which I should play because it's powering me up. I can do various attacks. So there's that. I need to flip the token in order to give me some time. So that gives me another cash to use. So I had one. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use both of the cash that I should have right now. Oh, it has to be within 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That guy's not within 4, but he is. So I'll use the one I just would have picked up to go ahead and exhaust that minion, so I don't have to worry about it for a time. Yeah, and I need to take 3 power off. If it's not right, I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think we're going to get down, and I don't think we're going to get too much. So I'm not going to worry about that if I forgot it. Now, that was her regular action and her move. I have a card that I played, so all that's left is Jin. So Jin's going to have to attack the boss, which is going to be real unfortunate. But it's better that he takes off those 3. And he's going to get hurt. Hopefully not too badly. We'll see how badly it ends up being. That's it. So we'll draw a card. Nope. We can remain silent to pull 3 cards off. So 1, 2, 3. Luckily, Merciless Clutch was in there, so we got to get rid of that. Then I choose a fighter. So yourself or an adjacent fighter. I'm going to choose myself to get a punch token, and I get a power from Observe and Report. And that clears that stuff out. So just kind of waiting on that end. We will reset. And I'd really prefer punch damage be done. Okay. 2 spaces. I'm outside of 2 spaces, so he's going to gain punch defense. So keeping that part in mind, that the U is Ying in that card's description. A red Jin. Red Jin goes there. It's 2 punch defense. Okay. See if there's anything that will add movement. The only thing that will move is Dragon's Teeth. So if I go 1, 2, 3, I'm not close enough to do any real attacks. So I'll use Dragon's Teeth to move the 2 spaces that I need to go, so it's just in between here. I don't care if he goes there, I just don't want him to go there, because I want him to just keep bouncing between these 2, and that'll keep him from getting to 3. Then that's going to allow me to do 6, 7 dice kick damage. It's got all that kick damage, so it's just going to kind of whittle things down a little bit. Alright, so I got criticals on that. I gained 1 kick defense, so I'll go ahead and just take that now. I got more dice. I bought a ton of those utility pack things, so I got more dice. Wow, more crits, more kick defense, and here we go. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to get rid of a heavenly because it's not damaged since it was blocked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. We finally did a damage, but he's just going to get all of that back. So it's kind of a Pyrrhic victory, but it's something. He's also going to heal it on the next round. But that was cool, right? Wasn't that cool? So we got that movement, and now I can do a regular attack, and that's for punch, and do something for that. I still have chameleon stance, non-exhausted, so I get a punch defense token to go with all my others, and it does 1 punch defense damage, which is blocked. So very quickly, if you use your cards correctly, you can get stuff going back and forth. I still have Dragon's Teeth, another one to use, so I'm not that worried about it. I'll do the combo effect that I want to do. There's no minions or anything, but I can gain a defense token of my choice and deal 2 general damage to an enemy engaged with me, or deal 1 direct damage to an enemy engaged with you. So it just makes more sense breaking through to deal 1 direct damage, half-inch punch. Yeah, so it just makes more sense to do 1 direct damage to an enemy engaged as the combo effect. Then as the chameleon effect from the combo, I want to be able to do this Viper Jab, which will do 2 more direct damage. So now we're kind of getting somewhere a little bit. So that part's pretty cool. So that just revealed and then went back to the discard pile. If I wanted to, I could try and do some extra leather whip stuff or get kinky with it. Why not? So Lotus has not moved yet, so I need to move her. Stance exhausted. She's going to go back here so that she's not engaged, but she's going to give defense tokens to Jin and to Brandon. So these 2 are going to go to her. This is going to go to Jin. And that's going to go to Brandon. Okay, because he needs more punch defense tokens if I ever saw. That's everything. So we're going to start activating here. So activate if all along is within 2 spaces of you. It is. He deals you 3 kick damage. So, oh no, 3 kick damage. So that's going to be enough almost to flip the card. Then we move over here, 3 kick damage. So I'm going to bite back to reduce the damage by 1, and that's going to allow me to combo effect. The combo effect I'll use is from the Viper Jab, which does 2. So Yep. Means he's up to 6. We are making it. Then we got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves 1 there. Big hits. All the hits. Okay. Honestly, on this game, I would have preferred he get the one that has the punch one, because then I could just get punched in the face a bunch of times, block all of it, and be like, oh man, I will wow you with my heavenly furies. So there's that. Purple Jin. He's currently unengaged. He's going to gain a random defense token. And he's going to gain a punch token. Purple Jin. Then he's going to run up and deal 3 general damage. I think he's going to have to do it to Lotus, but he'll run up here and deal 3 general damage to her. So that's going to be those 3 grapples. Red, he's going to move up 3. So that's that. Everybody's in. Everybody's happy. We come over here. He's going to punch now. That is a thing he does. He punches for 4. We haven't had that happen just yet. But it's going to deal +1 direct damage to any other fighters that are engaged with him. So it's to each fighter, but it's the ones that are engaged with him, and it's going to target Brandon for 4. He's Mr. Kung Fu, so he's doing a Kung Fu hand-to-hand attack. 1, 2. I have not had to mitigate damage here, so I'm going to reduce the further damage by 2, so he doesn't take any further damage. Then Shadow Sun says he has to get 2 of each, so he's going to get 2 kick, and then this gets 3 randoms. Alright, so that's a punch, kick, and a grapple. And then 1 damage is going to go onto him because of the attack. So I reset the table if things changed a little bit, because I thought for a second then Jin had died. He did not. The thing that was done is the mercy card has to go into effect here, which heals 1 damage from Along. And then he's going to move because of the stage rules. He'll move up here, which flips this one, which means we have 1 in play at this point. We can throw a power on 2, and we have to flip a card. Loose chips. Each fighter chooses and discards 2 defense tokens or 1 card they control. Each fighter does not place 1 power on the house. Each fighter 2 or 1 card they control. So let's just take 2. So we'll do, she's going to lose 2. Each fighter, we've been saying that each fighter counts as our allies as well, even though they can't control a card. So it's just kind of the way things are going to go. And that takes her completely out of tokens. Sucks. But I'm hoping we can just beat up on Along like crazy right now. And we'll see where that gets us. So everybody is unexhausted now. Okay. All that stuff. It's gonna unexhaust. Shouldn't have unexhausted before, but you know, things happen as we're doing stuff. Wanbo, blue Wanbo, he'll end up on this side of the board. And we're just gonna try and take out all along as quickly as we can. So she can move 1, 2, 3. So she's right up in his face. Let's see what happens with remain silence. They say, it says 1 general damage to an enemy and gain for each copy of the discarded card in the pile, and to each. So if I just tap or exhaust all 3, we go by one. So first one, Dow. Uses general damage. So 1, 2, 3 general damage. So that's going to discard these. Okay. Next one, phasing hook punch. Good thing I got rid of that. And then Wanbo. So there are 2 in here for Wanbo. I think the best thing I can do is make it easy for this attack to go through as quickly as possible. So the general damage is going to take out these 2 punch tokens. So that just opens up the path, right? Then let's attack, because we haven't this whole game with Ying. So let's see what happens when she attacks. The target attack shares the name of a card in the enemy discard pile. This attack gets +1 and deals direct damage. Otherwise, you may play 1 card after this attack, then flip this card. So, that being the case, we have to play 2 cards. We're going to attack the 2 first. This is a kick attack. We don't have any sneakers on her. We just have the whips. You know what we can do before that, though? We can get nice to her. We can get real nice to her. We can throw this Molotov cocktail and target this space here, or this space up here, so that it hits just him, and get rid of some of that pesky defense he's been holding on to for so long. And that makes it so that her kick attack is just a regular attack now. And that does give her 1 kick defense. So congratulations, Yinghua, on that. And it does 2 kick damage. It's not enough to get rid of any heavenly stuff, but it's going to be good in the long run. And now we have to play 2 cards. Well, what do we have for cards? We have Phoenix Tail. So let's play that one first. Attack, and you can exhaust up to 3 cards to go do even more extra splendiferous damage. Also a kick attack, so that's going to be exhausting some hunches and exhausting her main card. That will add 3 to this. Come on, be +5. 5 or more. 5 or more. It's going to be for 4. 4 and you get 2 tokens. So defense is okay. Defense is okay. And it does 4. So 11. We're getting close. That basically takes out the Shadow Sun extra, so we will just have the 15 to deal with. So that's cool. We don't have any more cards to play. But we can feint, observe, and report, which will allow us to reel the top 3 cards of the enemy deck and return them in any order. So we know we're going to get those 2. We would know what the 3rd one is. I would prefer them to be minion cards that get drawn anyway, because I don't want there to be any other tactics. So I'm just going to say cool with that. And choose a fighter to move one card from their discard pile to their hand. So the discard pile had this amazing no shadow kick as part of that to move back to my hand. And I can play a card. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to apprehend. So attack and discard the top card of the enemy deck. If the target attack is a minion that shares, otherwise choose one fighter to draw one card. So she's going to draw one card because she needs it. So we'll have that for next time. But that's going to be an attack that is grapple related, which will allow me to use the leather whip. So that is 4. I should have used the flashbang, but you know, whatever. So that's going to do 2. It gets 1 grapple. She gets 2 more grapple. It's going to do 1 damage. Okay, it was okay. Then yeah, I'm going to exhaust Jin. And he's going to run over here. And he's going to hit the boss for 3. Which turns that to 5. So that's a very productive, very productive moment. This should be on its normal side. It's just a stack of tokens. We'll deal with that in a second. By all indications, this is going to turn over, so I'm not dealing with it. So, you know, don't at me, bro. Whatever that ends up actually meaning, I don't know. It's super late at night, and I've been doing this for far too many hours today. So, the next steps are I'm going to have to deal 3 punch damage to her. So that's going to turn into 1. That's going to mitigate 2. So that's the 3. So she's not going to take any damage from that. I'll throw those there just in case. Activation 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. He's going to get 2 random defense tokens. He gets a punch and a kick. Alright, he's going to move up and he's going to get 1 random defense token. He gets a kick defense token. Everybody's going to unexhaust their stuff. So there's that. Then the last one in that round is Blue Jin. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. That was a kick token. Alright, he's going to pop in right there. I have cards. I have stuff. I just need to plow as much as I can. This is going to allow me to gain extra power if I keep it in my hand now. So let's keep it in my hand now. I don't have any real grapple stuff, do I? I can do the nunchaku grab, just as exhaust a minion. If there are no ready enemies engaged with you, gain +1, but there's going to be a ready enemy. If I do the nunchaku grab, it's only going to give me, well, it'll give me some extra dice. So I'm going to do that attack. So nunchaku grab is going to give me 2 with here, so that's 4. Come on, crit. Yay, crit. It's going to give me those. Give me another crit. Nope. So that's that. Actually, you know what? I do get a, because this is an attack, I get +1 more. So I got 1 more shot at this. Because of chameleon stance. Ooh, okay. And I got another here. Now, unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4 damage was not enough to get rid of a heavenly dragon deal. That's just what's going to happen. So I'm going to attack for 3. I'm going to exhaust these 3, so that's 6. Plus 1 is 7. So I get 7 dice. So that's 3, 6, 7. Now, he's got currently 19 out of 25 health down, so this could be the end of him. If we're lucky, we are not. Okay, so we're just going to have to deal with it a little bit more. So that is 4. Well, you know, maybe with all the other effects, we'll see what happens. So that's going to be 4 defense dice. That's going to be 4 damage. So this is 4 plus 4 is 8. Yeah, 8. So those 2 out. It's 10. So that's 23 damage. And let's see what kind of effects we did. We gain a power. We can move a space. We gain defense tokens and deal 2 general damage to each enemy engaged with you. He dead. So because of that one attack, all these different effects happen. At some point, we could say that all that happened is one part of big attack, which would get rid of, let's say, this one. He gone. He's dead. By how long? So that's that. It took several hours to get through with lots of explanations. I hope when you guys sit around your table and play this, that you do so with maybe some fighters that are a little quicker to play with, maybe some that have a little more damage potential than Ying. It took her a little while to get up to it, but once these things start going through and she is with her minions, taking those out, then she's much more effective. What do we win? We win. Yinghua shook Jin's hand. Keep it clean here, all right? So apparently Jin is going to take over the Golden Dragons. These guys know me, Jin said. I can keep them in line and all won't stay out long. I figure you need my help to bring them down. Need a new partner? Choose 2 upgrade cards to add to the story pool and complete this story. So we finished. We get 2 more upgrade cards. I will make a decision as to what those will be. You have to go through stories several times in order to get all of the upgrade cards. But it's worth it, I think, because you get a lot more options and cool stuff. As you can see, it doesn't really unbalance the game. It just adds options and does different things to keep it fun. The game is fun. The changes in Along, you know, it's neat. He's difficult, but it's a little easier, I think, to keep track of. Once you have the strategy down, it should be simple for you. We didn't get hit a lot on our guys because we kept running around the board. But there are people out there that can take and get soaked in damage pretty good. If you played along with me, congratulations, you're awesome. If you want to know what you should do next, if you have the Redemption Pack, I would play through All Along story in the Redemption Pack, because now that he's been defeated, he's got to get redeemed. You can like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff on the channel. I make on a different channel a weekly podcast, YouTube video, whatever you want to call it, on everything that's coming out on Kickstarter, which is where you could have got this game if you were unable to in retail, or you bought a retail copy and you're like, where did all this other stuff come from? Well, it was a Kickstarter game originally, and that's something you can get there. Everything you do to help the channel out, such as like, share, subscribe, leave nice comments that are helpful to other people, go ahead and do that. Just do me a favor, if you're going to make any comments that's something you would change or do differently, cite the source in the book. The comments will be there forever, so I don't really need to engage with them, they're going to be there into perpetuity. If I don't look at it, don't worry about it. Someone else will see it because you've cited the source of where you found it, and that will help them out too. If you like my types of videos, you can let me know on that end. I did make everything for the Kickstarter one on my regular other channel, but this channel is just going to be exclusively for Kickstarter 2 and beyond, so that people don't get confused if they bought a retail copy and they're looking for ways to play the game. Yeah, you guys have a good one.